Hello. Hey, boss lady. Um, I think it might just be the two of us at this point because I just made this live about an hour ago. A little over maybe 2 hours ago. Um, when I got home and found, hey, Garth, oh, we are three. When I got home and found that the ruling had been. Oh, and Mary Hanks, yay! So yeah, I listened through it quickly with I don't know if you guys know Dan D True Crime. It's not Dandy, the word. It's Dan D True Crime. I thought it was D and D for the longest time. Hi, Cappy. Hi, Mary. Oh, everybody's here. Oh, yay! I'm glad. Okay, good. Um, and he did like a pretty straight read through, which I super appreciate because I tend to editorialize. His channel is quite small, but he's yeah, he's a nice guy. I found him over on, he's a steady regular over on Suma's channel, Suma Cum Loudmouth. And he's a big chatter in the chat, and he has his own channel. So I always appreciate the people who are willing to just do the straight read through, because I can never do that. I just always want to talk. Hi, Kitty Nona. Nice to see you. Yeah, so pretty exciting. I will not give any spoilers. Yeah, nobody else, please. I think that's a really good point. No spoilers. We want to get through it. I know a thing or two, but I'm gonna just read it through and you guys can experience it. I'm just gonna leave that up, I think, for now, so that anybody who's joining is not gonna give us any spoilers. So yeah, I thought we could just get straight to it. It's pretty exciting. The construction guys finished early today, so I'm less despairing than I often am at this time of day lately. So, okay, here we go. Let's just get to it. So we'll start. It's 17 pages. It was filed on the 7th of April at 12:45 p.m. In the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. Brian C. Boone, petitioner, v. Sarah K. Boone, respondent, supplemental final judgment on modification and relocation. This cause having come on August 25th, 2025, for consideration of petitioner, Father Brian C. Boone's supplemental petition for modification of final judgment, filed on April 12th, and verified petition to relocate, filed on February 14th, 2023 and 2022, and respondent mother Sarah K. Boone's motion for contempt, filed on April 11th, 2023. The parties have appeared, and the court, having reviewed the court filing and being duly advised in the premises, finds and orders as follows. Get ready. Okay, let me figure out how to make this all work for myself here. Okay. Okay. I guess it's paragraphs, right? So paragraph 1. Petitioner seeks modification of the party's final judgment and relocation to Gainesville with the minor child. Paragraph 2, petitioner's modification petition is granted in part, and petitioner's relocation petition is granted based on the following. 1, modification petition. Paragraph 3, in his modification petition, petitioner seeks a modification of shared parental responsibility for the party's minor child, the termination of alimony, the termination of child support, and attorney's fees and costs. See modification petition at blah, blah, blah. On paragraph 4, on June 15th, 2018, this court entered a final judgment of dissolution of marriage that adopted the parties' marital settlement agreement and parenting plan that were filed on May 9th, 2018. See final judgment. Paragraph 5. The parties were awarded shared parental responsibility for the party's minor child, Boone, And petitioner was ordered to pay monthly child support of $100 and durational alimony of $1,000 per month for 84 months. See final judgment. Paragraph 6. In his modification petition, petitioner alleges the final judgment should be modified due to substantial change in circumstance. To wit, respondent was arrested and charged with second-degree murder of her boyfriend. The party's minor child has lived exclusively with petitioner since respondent's incarceration, and respondent does not have the financial need for alimony or child support. See modification petition. Hi, Em. Apples is good. Thanks for asking. So that was, where are we? Sorry. Paragraph 7, respondent filed a 9-page handwritten response, modification answer on May 16th, 2022, generally denying all of petitioner's requests for modification rather than responding to each paragraph of the modification petition. A, substantial change in circumstances. Paragraph 8. It is undisputed that respondent has been incarcerated since February 25th, 2020. Subsequent to the filing of the modification petition, respondent was convicted of second-degree murder and she was sentenced to life in prison. Paragraph 9. It is also undisputed that since respondent's incarceration in February 2020, respondent has not exercised any regular time sharing. See Florida statute blah, blah, blah. A parent's failure to regularly exercise the time-sharing schedule set forth in the parenting plan shall be deemed a substantial change of circumstances for purposes of modifying the child support award. Emphasis added. And the words emphasis added are there. I didn't say that. So she's like going, yeah, I added the emphasis here. So good. Paragraph 10. In anticipation of the entry of the original final judgment, respondent made financial disclosures averring that she was receiving unemployment benefits and in search of a job, and she alleged $5,293.83 in monthly expenses, leaving her with a financial deficit of $4,521. See MSA and respondent's financial affidavit. Paragraph 11. Undoubtedly, either party contemplated respondent's arrest. Undoubtedly, neither party contemplated respondent's arrest and incarceration when their MSA was entered and their parenting plan was agreed upon. Paragraph 12. The court finds that, at best, respondent's reasonable monthly expenses since incarceration total $145. Zing. Hi, Suma. Oh, nice to see you. See respondent's financial affidavit filed on May 30th. Paragraph 13. As such, substantial competent evidence supports petitioner's claim of a substantial change in circumstances. See Hembry v. Thomas, finding that incarceration clearly constituted a substantial change in circumstances. Nangle v. Nangle, a key factor in determining whether a modification is warranted is determining whether, after the final judgment is entered, the parties' financial abilities have changed. Paragraph 14. Petitioner seeks to modify the final judgment by awarding him sole parental responsibility, decision-making authority, and 100% time sharing. Paragraph 15. At the final hearing, father proposed mother have 1 monthly visit and 1 weekly call with the child. Mother objected to father's request for sole parental responsibility, and she requested an unspecified number of phone calls and personal space without interference, as well as 1 to 2 in-person visits for the maximum time allowed, holiday visits, and perpetual cooperation from the father. Whistling for it. Okay. Paragraph 16. The court has heard the testimony of the parties, examined the demeanor, body language, and overall credibility and ability to show self-insight and awareness of the issues pertaining to shared parenting and time-sharing issues, and examined evidence related to the issue of the contested time sharing for the minor child. In determining the best interests of the child, the court makes these findings as to the factors affecting the welfare and interests of the minor child and the circumstances of the family as follows. I just want to comment on the fact that Sarah will be peeing her pants at the part of the demeanor, body language, and overall credibility, because she thinks that her demeanor, body language, and overall credibility are like really good and up high. So she'll be thinking, oh yeah, she's won it here. But I wonder if she'll have this yet. Probably not, right? Anyway, sorry. This is the findings. A, the demonstrated capacity and disposition of each parent to facilitate and encourage a close and continuing parent-child relationship, to honor the time-sharing schedule, and to be reasonable when chart changes are required. Due to her incarceration and life sentence, Mother has been and continues to be unable to honor the time-sharing schedule implemented in the implemented by the parties' parenting plan and the final judgment. The child was able to have virtual visitation with Mother when she was incarcerated at the Orange County Jail, but she has since been relocated to a prison in Marion County. Father testified that he has paid for all telephone calls between Mother and the child. According to Father, there are times when the child is visibly upset after speaking with Mother on the telephone because of the way Mother talks to the child. Yeah, big surprise. B, the anticipated division of parental responsibilities after the litigation, including the extent to which parental responsibilities will be delegated to third parties. Since Mother's arrest in February 2020, Father has undertaken 100% of the parental responsibilities for the minor child. So far it's all going, basically how I kind of expected. She did not strike me as anybody's fool, that judge. She seemed like she had Sarah's number pretty well. So I feel like this is, yeah. Also, I mean, she knows the law, and she's not going to be, I don't think she's going to be biased particularly or whatever, but I did like the inclusion of the, after examining the body language, the demeanor, the ability to self-reflect and all that kind of stuff. I think that is a really important element of this. And as I say, I think that judge is no one's fool. So carrying on, we're still on, oh God, we're going to go through the whole alphabet here. So we're on the letter C now. The demonstrated capacity and disposition of each parent to determine, consider, and act upon the needs of the child as opposed to the needs or desires of the parent. Nice. The court notes that Mother continued to contest the relocation petition and subsequent motion for temporary relocation, despite the intense local media coverage of her murder trial, despite the child being bullied in school in Orange County. See order on motion for temporary relocation. Finding Mother did not have an articulable reason as to why she opposed relocation. Paragraph D, the length of time the child has lived in stable, satisfactory environment and the desirability of maintaining continuity. Since Mother's arrest in February 2020, the minor child has lived with the father 100% of the time. Paragraph E, the geographic viability of the parenting plan with special attention paid to the needs of school-age children and the amount of time to be spent traveling to effectuate the parenting plan. The parties disagree as to how many phone calls and prison visits the child should have with Mother. Father contends that it is a 1 hour and 20-minute drive from his location and to the facility where the mother is currently incarcerated. Mother estimates that it is a 50-minute drive. However, the court finds father's testimony on the travel time more credible, as mother has never driven from father's home to the jail, and mother's 50-minute estimate appears to be a generalization of the travel between Ocala to the father's location without taking into consideration traffic and the actual distance between destinations. Paragraph F, the moral fitness of the parents. What do you think? Is Sarah morally fit? Father has raised concerns regarding mother's inability to show genuine accountability or remorse for her actions that led to her conviction for second-degree murder and subsequent sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. I just got to say, there are several typos and mistakes in here, grammatical errors, which is a bit surprising. Anyway. Paragraph G, the mental and physical health of the parents. There was no evidence presented as to this factor. Paragraph H, the home, school, and community record of the child. The child currently attends such and such a high school in such and such a location and is enrolled in a biotech magnet program. The school is located 11 miles from the father's home, and father is responsible for 100% of the child's transportation to and from school. The paragraph I, the reasonable preference of the child if the court deems the child to be of sufficient intelligence, blah, blah, blah. NA, it's not applicable. Paragraph J, the demonstrated knowledge, capacity, and disposition of each parent to be informed of the circumstances of the minor child, including but not limited to the child's friends, teachers, medical care providers, daily activities, and favorite things. There was no evidence presented as to this factor. Paragraph K, the demonstrated capacity and disposition of each parent to provide a consistent routine for the child, such as discipline and daily schedules for homework, meals, and bedtime. There was no evidence presented as to this factor because, I mean, what evidence could they possibly require at this point? Paragraph L, we really are going through the whole alphabet. The demonstrated capacity of each parent to communicate with and keep the other parent informed of issues and activities regarding the minor child, and the willingness of each parent to adopt a unified front on all major issues when dealing with the child. There exists a vexing communications problem between the parties due to mother's incarceration. I feel like there are other reasons that there is a vexing communications problem. Father is unable to pick up the phone and call mother to discuss day-to-day parenting and decision-making issues. This makes it difficult for the parties to confer with each other so that major decisions affecting the welfare of the child will be determined jointly and expeditiously. According to father, he sometimes receives calls from mother asking him to buy things for the child or yelling at him. That sounds like our Sarah. Father also testified that he has not received any letters from mother in 4 years. Paragraph M. Yeah, no spoilers, people. Evidence of domestic violence, etc., child abuse. There was no evidence presented to this factor. Paragraph N. Evidence that either parent has knowingly provided false information to the court. There was no evidence presented as to this factor. Paragraph O, the particular parenting tasks customarily performed by each parent and the division of parental responsibilities before the institution of litigation and during the pending litigation, including the extent to which parenting responsibilities were undertaken by third parties. While the final judgment, pardon me, provided the parents were to have 50-50 time sharing, father estimates that mother exercised 30% of the time sharing. He testified that mother's time sharing was sporadic and she saw the child whenever she felt like it. According to father, there were nights where he got calls to come and pick up the child because mother had started drinking. I just wish that I could be a fly on the wall, when Sarah was reading this, and I'm kind of bummed that she's not friends with the third rail people anymore, because we're not going to get to hear the phone call that would have happened between them. Paragraph P, the demonstrated capacity and disposition of each parent to participate and be involved in the child's school and extracurricular activities. Due to her incarceration, mother has been unable to participate in the child's school and extracurricular activities. I would venture that she was not, she has no capacity at this point, but I would also venture that she doesn't have the disposition either. But that's moot because she doesn't even have the capacity. She will write letters. Yes, Sue, my loudmouth, you are absolutely right. And we look forward to them. Okay, paragraph Q. The demonstrated capacity and disposition of the parent to maintain an environment for the child which is free from substance abuse. There was no evidence presented as to this factor. Again, they don't need to because she's incarcerated. But I would suggest that she is not capable of that. I think most of you would agree with me. Paragraph R, the capacity and disposition of each parent to protect the child from the ongoing litigation as demonstrated by not discussing the litigation with the child, not sharing documents or electronic media related to the litigation with the child, and refraining from disparaging comments about the other parent to the child. There was no evidence presented as to the parties discussing the current modification proceeding with the minor child, but mother testified that father has called her a killer and a murderer in front of the child. I mean, he's only human after all. Paragraph S, the developmental stages and needs of the child and the demonstrated capacity and disposition of each parent to meet the child's developmental needs. The child is 14 years old, enrolled in a magnet program, and involved in extracurricular activities. Paragraph T, any other factor that is relevant to the determination of a specific parenting plan, including the time-sharing schedule. Father testified that mother has not been involved in any major decisions regarding the minor child. Also, he has no idea how to contact mother to get her input on issues involving the child. He testified that over the past 6 years, mother's calls have been off and on. He describes there being weeks of tons of calls, but other weeks with none. He also expressed concerns about mother's decision-making, including the circumstances leading to her arrest and conviction for second-degree murder. According to him, he doesn't think she makes good decisions. Notwithstanding his concerns, father testified he does not mind mother giving her input on decisions regarding the child's education, health, and other major decisions. He is a big man, that Brian. But he believes sole parental responsibility is in the child's best interest, given mother's current circumstances. He's a good man, that Brian. I gotta say. She was lucky to have had him, and she's lucky still, but she don't know it. So, okay, we have finished whatever that was, and now we're on to paragraph 17. I can't remember. It's long, and I get a little lost. Upon evaluating the factors above, it is in the best interests of the child that father shall have sole authority to make major decisions for the child. It is determined it is detrimental to the child to have shared parental responsibility for the following reasons: mother's current incarceration with a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole, mother's sporadic calls, and father's inability to call mother to discuss parenting issues. Yeah, good. 18, it's in the child's best interest for father to have 100% time sharing with the minor child. I don't think we need to explain why, and she didn't. Paragraph 19, the court further finds that a flexible visitation schedule for mother is in the child's best interest. there's lots of typos and mistakes in here, is in the child's best interest due to his age, current school schedule, extracurricular activity commitments, and the distance between the child's home and the prison where mother is currently incarcerated. Paragraph 20. Petitioner also seeks the termination of the durational alimony, or that the alimony be reduced or at least suspended during respondent's incarceration. This is the good stuff. Paragraph 21. At the final hearing, respondent argued she needs alimony to buy gifts for the party's child, and she is legally entitled to alimony. However, neither party waived their statutory right to seek modification or termination of the alimony award. See final judgment. The alimony amount is modifiable upon a showing of substantial change of circumstances. Also see Florida statute, blah, blah, blah. The amount of an award of durational alimony may be modified or terminated based upon a substantial change in circumstances. But neither of them applied for that, is what the point was. Paragraph 22, the court finds that respondent has $0 income due to her involuntary incarceration and that her reasonable monthly expenses or reasonable need has been reduced to $145. I love that so much. Paragraph 23. By stipulation, the court finds that petitioner's gross monthly income is $5,000 and he has the ability to pay alimony. Paragraph 24. Because respondent still has a need for economic assistance, petitioner's request for termination or suspension of his alimony obligation is denied. See Florida statute, blah, blah, expressly stating that the purpose of durational alimony is to provide a party with economic assistance for a set period of time following a marriage. Bummer. Paragraph 25. However, petitioner's request for a downward modification of his alimony obligation effective May 1st, 2022 is granted. Paragraph 26. For the remaining 36 months of the 84-month period of durational alimony, the alimony obligation shall be modified downward to $145 per month for a total of $5,220. So she is saying that he has to pay the, when is it? It's from, because he put in the petition not until May of 2022, and she's granting it from that date, not from the date, the February 2020 date. So just to point that out. Paragraph 27, respondent is entitled to alimony arrears of $20,220. Paragraph 28. So that's like $1,000 a month for 20 months or whatever. And then the 145 after that. We'll go through it a little bit better at the end, and you know, Tanika's 2 cents is going to be the person that can extremely give you all of the details, because she lives, eats, sleeps, and breathes this, despite having 2 children under 3 and a job and another YouTube channel. Okay, paragraph 28. Father also seeks the termination of child support retroactive to the date of mother's arrest because his child support obligation was based on the equal time sharing schedule outlined in the parenting plan and on the financial abilities of the parties at that time. Paragraph 29. It is undisputed that mother stopped exercising time sharing with the minor child upon her arrest on February 25th, 2020. Paragraph 30. After over 3 years of litigation, mother finally conceded during the final hearing that father's child support obligation should be terminated given her incarceration and exercise of 0 overnights. Paragraph 31. During the final hearing, father testified that the clerk was holding approximately $4,000 in child support payments because the clerk did not have information and or an address to where the child support payments could be made to mother. Mother agreed that all such funds being held by the clerk of court should be returned to father. Paragraph 32. Petitioner's request to terminate his child support obligation effective February 25th, 2020 is hereby granted. See Florida statute blah, blah, blah. A modification pursuant to a parent's failure to regularly exercise the time-sharing schedule set forth in the parenting plan is retroactive to the date the non-custodial parent first failed to regularly exercise the court-ordered or agreed time-sharing schedule. Paragraph 33. The new child support arrears balance is $0 effective April 7th, 2026. Paragraph 34. Section 2, relocation petition. Paragraph 34. In his relocation petition, petitioner seeks to permanently relocate from Orlando to a certain place. Because of respondent's incarceration for second-degree murder, the child being bullied at school, and respondent having 0 overnights over the past 3 years. Paragraph 35. On February 23rd, 2023, respondent filed a handwritten response, relocation answer, to the relocation petition wherein she objected to the relocation. Paragraph 36. Notwithstanding her objection, on April 5th, 2023, the court entered its temporary relocation order wherein the court permitted petitioner to temporarily relocate to such and such a place. Paragraph 37. Respondent continued to contest the permanent relocation and did not stipulate to the permanent relocation until the final hearing. Paragraph 38. I appreciate that she is making note of those things, that she didn't stipulate to it till finally at the end, because it just points out how stubborn she is about getting what she wants, regardless of what's best for the child. So I appreciate this judge. Paragraph 38, the court finds that the permanent relocation to such and such a place is in the best interests of the minor child, especially in light of mother's current incarceration in Ocala. Paragraph 39, as such, the relocation petition is granted by agreement of the parties. So yeah, I mean, I really thought that that was going to be the case. I'm not surprised at all at those findings. So chapter 3 or section 3, motion for contempt. So that's Sarah trying to get the court to hold Brian in contempt for not paying her child, or not paying her alimony while she was in prison. So paragraph 40, although most of her motion involved respondent writing about her displeasure with the court's ruling permitting temporary relocation over her objection, respondent does state she is seeking to obtain missed, delinquent, or diminished alimony payments. See motion for contempt, page 1. Paragraph 41. Petitioner acknowledges that he did not pay $15,000 in alimony for 15 months between respondent's arrest in February of 2020 and the filing of his modification petition, which was in May of 2022. Hi, Susan. It's okay. We're just glad you're here. Paragraph 42, while petitioner acknowledges that he stopped making alimony payments after respondent's arrest, petitioner testified that he did not pay alimony because after respondent's incarceration, he had nowhere to send the alimony payments. I love that. He helped move items from the petitioner's apartment upon her incarceration. He paid for a storage unit for her items, and he made $600 worth of direct and or in-kind payments to the petitioner prior to the date of filing, including giving respondent commissary money. Right? And she is so ungrateful. It's disgusting. Paragraph 43. While the court does not find that the petitioner's post-incarceration gestures absolve him from his alimony obligation, the court cannot find an intentional and willful violation of the final judgment under these unique circumstances, including respondent's long-term incarceration, petitioner's inability to make Zelle payments, and respondent's lack of a bank account that she can access. Paragraph 44. As such, petitioner's motion for contempt is denied as to contempt, but granted as to the enforcement of petitioner's $1,000 monthly alimony obligation for the 15 months prior to the filing of the modification, for a total of $15,000. Sarah is currently peeing her pants with excitement. Section 4. Request for attorney's fees and costs. Paragraph 45. Petitioner seeks an award of attorney fees and costs. Specifically, petitioner seeks $12,000.50, which is so nice and petty, in attorney's fees and costs through July 29th, 2025, as well as fees and costs for the preparation and attendance at trial. I love that they added the 50 cents on there. So excellent. Paragraph 46, right? Right, boss lady? Oh my God. Paragraph 46. The court evaluates the following factors under Rosen v. Rosen. Financial resources of both parties. Petitioner is an out-of-work software developer, but he stipulated to imputed annual income of $60,000. While he owns real estate and has tangible assets, the extent of his liquid cash is $1,306 in a trust checking account. See petitioner's financial affidavit filed on April 25th, 2025. Respondent has no ongoing monthly income, but she is entitled to $22,220 in alimony arrears. See paragraphs 24 and 25 above. So just so people understand, that $22,220 is $15,000 for the 15 months that Brian did not pay any alimony, but nor did he apply to have it modified. So he has to pay the $1,000 for those 15 months. After those 15 months, the judge has said Sarah's monthly needs are only $145. So how many months? It's been 60 months. So there's been another 45 months since then. And he has to pay her $100. It's not the whole 45 months, because his alimony obligation ended last year. Right? So it came to an end at some point in 2025. So he only had to pay $145 a month for the remaining months of the durational alimony. So that's what the $2,220 is. Or yeah, it's $7,000. $7,220 is the money since April of 2022 when he put in the modification for alimony application. And the $15,000 is for the 15 months leading up to that time before he put in the application. So that's where all that money is. I feel like I messed that up, but anyways. Paragraph B, scope and history of the litigation. The initial dissolution proceeding took 197 days from the filing of the petition to the entry of a final judgment, which included the distribution of real property, equitable distribution, time sharing, parenting plan issues, child support, and alimony. There was little to no activity in the court file from the entry of the final judgment until the filing of the modification plan. The scope of the post-judgment proceedings involved relatively straightforward issues on child support and alimony modifications, terminations, as well as the temporary and permanent relocation to which the respondent eventually consented after years of objecting. I love the way she's just putting that in as like it's kind of neutrally stated, but it also the fact that it's even there is not neutral. So I really appreciate that. Paragraph C, duration of the litigation. The post-judgment proceedings for which petitioner is seeking attorney's fees unnecessarily spanned 1,231 days from the date of filing of the modification petition to the final hearing on relatively straightforward issues. Paragraph D, merits of the respective positions. Petitioner raised meritorious issues in seeking the termination or modification of child support and alimony due to respondent's incarceration for second-degree murder and lack of exercising time-sharing. Likewise, petitioner's basis for his request for relocation, in part due to the media coverage of respondent's murder charges, which led to the minor child being bullied, was also meritorious. On the other hand, respondent's failure to acknowledge a substantial change in circumstances, there's something grammatically wrong here, but anyway, it says respondent's failure to acknowledge a substantial change in circumstances, her objections to the termination of child support and her objections, at least to the downward modification of alimony, were without merit. Okay, I think there were just some commas missing there. Sorry. Anyway, but he's saying Sarah's whiny, complainy nonsense was without merit. Basically sums that up. Paragraph E, whether the litigation is brought or maintained primarily to harass or whether a defense is raised mainly to frustrate or stall. After being incarcerated for a number of years, respondent continued maintaining her defenses to the modification of child support and alimony even after being convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She finally capitulated to the modification of child support at the final hearing, but continued to contest a financial change in circumstances and argued that she was entitled to $1,000 in alimony. Paragraph F, the existence and course of prior or pending litigation. As noted above, the pre-judgment litigation lasted 197 days versus 1,236 days of litigation. Further, respondent continued to drag out the post-judgment proceedings even after she was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. I'm thinking it's not looking good for old Sarah here. So those are all the things that she considered in deciding whether or not to grant Brian's petition for attorney's fees. So paragraph 47, upon evaluating the Rosen factors, the court finds that the majority of the respondent's defenses in the post-judgment proceedings were frivolous or spurious, which resulted in unnecessary litigation. I'm shocked, I tell you. Shocked. Paragraph 48. Therefore, petitioner is entitled to reasonable attorney fees and costs to provide justice and ensure equity between the parties. I mean, that is going to eat right into her $22,000, people. Very upsetting. I don't think Sarah's peeing her pants with joy anymore at this point. Paragraph 49. The court finds that the $175 paralegal rate and the $395 attorney rate are reasonable. Paragraph 50. Petitioner has shown through competent, substantial evidence reasonable attorney fees in the amount of $11,668 through July 29th, 2025. That's half of her $22,000 right there. My goodness. Paragraph 51. The court finds that 8 hours of paralegal time and 8 hours of attorney time for the preparation for and attendance at the final hearing is reasonable for an initial fee award of $4,560. My goodness, Sarah's money is just being chipped away. Oh, it's dreadful. Paragraph 52, petitioner shall receive a credit of $16,228 from the alimony arrears owed to respondent, leaving an alimony arrears balance of $3,992. So that's a bit of a kick in the teeth for our Sarah. It is therefore ordered and adjudged that A, petitioner's petition for modification is granted in part. B, petitioner's petition for relocation is granted. C, Parental responsibility time sharing. Petitioner, father shall have sole authority to make decisions for the child and 100% time sharing with the minor child. D, visitation. Beginning May 1st, 2026, coming right up, mother shall be entitled to one telephone call per week with the minor child, as well as an additional call on the child's birthday, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas. Not on Mother's Day, not on Sarah's birthday, not on Easter or Valentine's Day. The child's birthday, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. The holiday calls shall be in addition to the weekly calls, but each call shall be no longer than 30 minutes each, unless otherwise agreed upon by the parties. And they have to both agree, and Brian is under no obligation to agree to modify anything. Although he is, he's a bigger man than I would be in this situation, so you never do know. Oh, I've lost, sorry. Where are we? Yes, so that was D, visitation subsection 1. Visitation subsection 2, beginning May 1st, 2026, or within 30 days of the minor child being approved as a visitor, whichever occurs first, mother shall be entitled to one weekend visit per month for 2 hours per visit at the Lowe's Lowell Correctional Institution main unit in Ocala, Florida. Visitation subsection 3, the transportation costs for weekend visits shall be allocated to father. Visitation subsection 4, all other provisions of the parenting plan approved by the final judgment not expressly modified herein shall remain in effect. Section E, alimony modification. Subsection 1, effective March 1st, 2020, petitioner's alimony obligation is hereby modified downward to $145. Subsection 2, all other provisions of the MSA approved by the final judgment not expressly modified herein shall remain in full effect, including the length of the award of the durational alimony. As a result, petitioner's durational alimony terminated on April 2nd, 2025. Subsection 3, petitioner shall receive a credit of $16,228 for his award of attorney's fees in accordance with paragraph F below. As such, the alimony arrears amount is reset at $3,992. I absolutely love this, right? Because Sarah was like, never say die. I will never give up. I will never give up. I want what's mine. And her doing that is the reason why she's getting only like a quarter of what, not even a quarter of what the court would have awarded her, what the court did award her, but then took back again because of her own terrible behavior. So I like that a lot. I like that for Sarah. Alimony modification subsection 4. The $3,992 balance of the alimony arrears shall be paid in 7 installments deposited into respondent's inmate trust account. Subsection 5, within 20 days of entry of this final judgment, petitioner shall apply to be an individual who, pursuant to Rule 33 blah, 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 blah of the Florida Administrative Code, is identified on the respondent's automated visiting record. Subsection 6, petitioner shall make the following deposits to respondent's inmate trust account within 90 days of petitioner being identified on Sarah K. Boone's automated visiting record with a current approved status pursuant to Rule blah, blah, blah. Petitioner shall make payment 1 in the amount of $600. And then he will do that again on or before December 1st, 2026. $392 on or before March 1st, 2027, $600 on or before June 1st, 2027, $600 on or before September 1st, 2027, $600 again on December 1st, 2027, $600 March 1st, 2028, $600. All alimony payments, this is subsection 7. All alimony payments, deposits shall be made by cashier's check, money order, certified bank draft made payable to correct pay and mailed with a deposit slip by the due date above to this address. G, section G, child support termination. Subsection 1, father's child support obligation shall be terminated retroactively to February 25th, 2020. Subsection 2, father is entitled to the return of any funds being held by the clerk of court for overpayment of child support. Subsection 3, the new child support arrears are $0 effective April 7th. Subsection 4, the clerk is directed to return any and all funds being held for child support for Brian C. Boone. So what I like about this is Brian had $4,000 in an account to pay the child support if he had to, if the ruling was that he had to pay it. He doesn't have to pay it, so he gets that $4,000 back. He owes Sarah $3,992. So, I mean, it's not exactly a wash. It's still his money, but it's not going to hurt that much because it was already over there. So I'm not sure if the judge finessed that on purpose, but I like the way that worked out. So section F, section 6, the clerk is directed to return any and all funds to Brian. And then section F, attorney fees, petitioner is awarded $16,228 in attorney's fees and costs and shall receive a credit of this amount from the unpaid alimony arrears. G, relocation, petitioner is permitted to permanently relocate to such and such a place in Florida. H, all other provisions of the final judgment, MSA, and parenting plan not expressly modified herein shall remain in full effect. I, the court reserves jurisdiction to modify this supplemental final judgment done and ordered at Orange County, Florida on this 7th day of April, 2026. LaShonda K. Jackson. Certificate of service. And I believe that is it. That's it. So it's there. So yeah, I think it has turned out as well as it possibly could. What do people think? I think that's amazing. I think it worked out really well. She is obviously a thoughtful and fair, I would say, judge. I think Sarah revealed herself to be exactly who she is, and the judge picked up on that without any trouble. And this is a very fair ruling, in my opinion. And I hope that Brian is heaving a great sigh of relief. He probably knew about this before we did, right? So he and the lad are free in many ways. I'm very happy to know that Sarah can no longer just phone the son relentlessly, endlessly, time and time again, that she's only allowed one 30-minute call a week. I think that's fantastic. And that she gets a 2-hour visit once a month. I think it's great. I think it's reasonable that Brian, pays for the gas to drive out there. I mean, what are you going to do? With Sarah's $145, Brian strikes me as the sort of person that would just be like, yeah, whatever. He has been incredibly kind to Sarah. She is, but I also think that, the law is the law. Grant is saying she's taking away from her son, and I agree that she is, but the law is the law, and, it is what it is. Brian did not. If he had applied for the modification in February of 2020 or March of 2020, it would have gone differently. But I don't see, if all of that hadn't happened, where would Sarah have had the money to pay his lawyer's fees and all that? I don't know. I think Brian shouldn't have had to go through any of this, and neither should the lad. She should not have been allowed to drag this out for these many years, and torturing them both throughout. But I feel like it has ended reasonably well. I think that the judge did her. Yeah, I mean, but you can't blame the judge for the fact that gas is over $5 there. I mean, it's expensive here too. It's the whole world. He's messing with the whole world. Let's face it. We were paying we did buy gas by the liter here, and it was like $1.49 or something, and now it's $2.20. So we're all getting screwed. But all in all, I think it wasn't terrible. I think it wasn't terrible. I suspect that Sarah's little smile has been wiped off her face. I can only imagine, eh? If she cared about her son, she would have taken the plea. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't care about anybody but herself. She cares about her son in so much as he's an accessory that she can use to make herself look good. The same way that Lauren cares about Dr. John because his PhD makes her look good, right? Having a child makes Sarah look like she's somebody that she's not. She can pretend to be this, when it suits her, right? When it suits her, she can pretend to be a good and caring mother. Do you think so? Yeah, Grant says Sarah will make the mistake of telling the other inmates about her money. I suspect that she will. I mean, people like Sarah are not famous exactly for their for their impulse control. I don't think she cares about anybody but herself. I just don't think. I don't think she does. I mean, it's evident in all of her behavior, right? How can you I mean, to me, the dead giveaway of all of it, like in terms of her, oh, I'm the battered spouse defense, and it was self-defense nonsense that she came up with in criminal court. If she was the person that she was pretending to be in criminal court, she would not have done to Brian and her son what she did in family court. So it's all, the judge is, living in the place where this happened. I am sure she is aware of the case and what Sarah did, right? Like, I don't see how she thought she was going to fool anybody, but then that's what these people are like, right? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Judge Jackson's going to get a novel. Yeah, I suspect you're right. So there's another Boone call up at the moment. They put up another one today. Oh yeah, she'll say all that exactly. She'll yeah. But you know what? I think it's true that she won't be able to sort of help bragging a little bit about getting some money. But yeah, it seems like the judge did not agree that she needed a whole bunch of money for snacks. Seems like that's the judge wasn't overly concerned about Sarah's blood sugar. I think there's there might be a footnote that I failed to read where she talks about the fact that she didn't have any evidence, any medical evidence or anything to show that she had low blood sugar problems or medical issues or anything that necessitated her having $250 worth of snacks every month. But I have to just leave you for a little second because the dog is asking to go out. So I will be right back. Just give me. Sorry about that. I just wanted to let him out. He will, yes, Ritz, pups must never be left waiting. Also, considering that he had me up last night, no word of exaggeration, 6 times to go outside because he apparently got into something and was sick all night. So I was not going to be, I was not going to make him wait when he has to go out because he has not been well. But anyway, yeah. So what do people think? I'm going to do a little, you can do polls now on StreamYard. So I don't have to go over to, I don't have to go over to YouTube to make a poll. Okay, here we go. Did that work? Can you guys see that? Oh, there it is. It's up there, though. I don't know how that works. Maybe I'll just do one over here. I'm just going to come over to YouTube and do one. Sorry. I cannot type and have intelligent thought at the same time. So here we go. There we go. That's better. Okay. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to remove this. I don't know really how this poll works over on the what do you call here? Okay, let's see what are people saying over here in the chat. Your sister's dog was called Apple. Oh my God. That's so awesome. My little Apples is a rescue from California. And he's from a place called Apple Valley, which is just a weird coincidence because when I was like, on the lookout for a dog and I went to the rescue and I'm like, I want to get a dog, I already had a name in mind. And the name I had in mind was Apples. And then when it turned out he was from Apple Valley, well, what could I do? Yeah, or a cat, Mary. Yes, it's very true. Yes, I would agree. Yeah, the poor little guy, he's got diabetes, and if he gets into stuff, which I don't know how he does it, but he's very resourceful because he's hungry all the time. So yeah, it worked over there. It was fate. Yes, I do feel like it was fate, Mary. And he's a lovely little dog. I absolutely adore him. And we've been together for 10 years and he's absolutely the greatest. And I named him after, I don't know if any of you remember, there was a show called Hot Box that was on the Comedy Network for a while. Or was it on the Comedy Central? I can't remember if it was Canadian or not anyway, but it was a punchline from a joke on an episode of Hot Box is where I got his name. I'm going to assume it's saying here, if the kid has plans, the calls won't happen. But also, I don't think Sarah will want to talk that much now that she lost in her mind. It's going to be very interesting to see how things settle for her now. It has long been my contention that she's going to be better off once she's been told no by every single buddy. So she still has her appeal to come. But I think that, yeah, she is going to need to settle down and find herself a life in prison because she seems to be, everything that she thinks about is, real life outside the prison. And I don't think that's ever happening for her, right? She's not going to win her appeal. Even if she did, she would just be found guilty again. Blossom and Wolfie for 16 years. Yeah, we don't deserve them. I just love them. Dreadheads, yeah, we came up with that a couple of whiles ago. We were throwing around a few things, and Dreadheads came out the winner. So I was sort of thinking, oh, I'm not going to have a nickname for my subscribers. I don't know. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like, I don't know. I'm not trying to have fans is basically what I'm trying to say. But people in the chat seem determined to come up with a nickname. So who am I to argue? Yeah, she does. I do think that she thinks, like, again, right? She just thinks that she just needs to get a hold of the right person, right? The right manager to give her the, yes, I agree, Mary, right? Oh, hey, I looked up about Trisha last night. Penny loafers. Oh, that's pretty cute. That's cute. I looked up about Trisha last night and the web sleuths scandal. I listened to, I don't even think it's the first episode, but I thought it was one of the first episodes that Jolene Lunzer did. And it does look very sketchy. Are people aware of this situation? I know a lot of you are, but yeah, so it seems like she kind of glommed on to a subscriber member who was financially, and had like done things for the channel and had supported them financially, bought them a new computer, things like that. And eventually like paid for Trisha's lawyer's fees when she was accused of something that is still a mystery to me. I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. And then paid for her to move to Texas. Like, so we're talking like significant sums of money that this woman gave to Trisha. And when she passed away, Trisha is now suing the person who is like the executor of the will. Trisha Mary is from, if you remember my videos from back with the Lauren and John thing, and I responded to Trisha from Web Sleuths when they had Grayson on. So Web Sleuths is a channel that's been around for a long time, and Trisha is that's her channel. Stacy is her executive producer. They supported Lauren wholeheartedly throughout all of her lying, scheming, trying to get Christina thrown in jail nonsense. And when the truth came out, never came forward and apologized for all of that. And so now it's sort of beginning. And she is like, people didn't go digging into her because of that. She started bringing all of this stuff to her channel. So she is now suing the executor of the will, saying that the will that is so old, and that this other person, the person who passed away and had given her all this money, that they had told her that she had different plans for her money, and that because of this, that Trisha is saying that the person died intestate, which means without a valid will. And so that's what the court case is about. And what she was doing, yes, now we know why she stuck up for LM, exactly, because she's a grifter scammer too. And so she's suing this woman, saying that the will isn't valid, and that she was, that she was supposed to get money, and there was supposed to be money to help some other person, and she's just trying to do what this person would have wanted and all this stuff. So, and the other person who's the executor of the will is like a friend of, like a lifelong friend, right? So it's very sketchy. She's brought all of this to her channel, and she took her channel on a field trip to this woman's house, to the dead woman's house, to check on it, to make sure that these other people aren't like trying to, get away with stuff. She took the woman's phone when she died and has refused to give it up, etc. She claims that her patron who gave her all this money wanted her, asked her to take the phone, but of course there's no evidence of that. And that's as far as I got. And now that was like the first video that Jolene did, and she did a whole bunch. Silly puffy face. Yeah, so yeah, I haven't even watched any more than that, but my God, it sounds sketchy as all get out. It's basically like as if, Lauren was contesting Kay Woodcock's will or something like that. Like, it's absolutely batshit crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. I am super unimpressed. And I was I have nothing good to say about Stacy either. I just find her very I don't know. I cannot get in the mindset of these people. I just can't understand it. The whole idea that they're doing that they're involving themselves in that way with people who are their fans, accepting that kind of money from them and stuff. I just think it's absolutely I love Jolene's Trisha impression, but I loved it more before I knew how Trisha actually is. Yeah, so Trisha has come out as actually, I just thought she was, I had seen her channel, I'd come across it before all of the hidden true crime stuff came out. And it just wasn't particularly for me, right? I just was whatever, not my gig, not my thing. They just seemed like I was going to say Murder, She Wrote or Miss Marple, but those are actually both quite cool, so I don't want to even say that. But she just struck me as kind of some futzy old lady, which I suppose people might find me that way. But Trisha from, oh man, you got to go check her out. Trisha over on Web Sleuths. She did a full thing, Suma. She full-throatedly, she had Grayson on her channel. And Grayson for 2 hours or whatever. So Grayson could tell her story. And she full-throatedly supported the whole hidden true crime fiasco. Where can you watch what videos? Oh, Jolene Lunzer. Boss lady, could you maybe post Jolene Lunzer's channel in the chat? Do you mind? Yeah, Jolene Lunzer can give you the background, and then if you want to watch my video responding to Web Sleuth's interview with Grayson, that's on my channel. There's a playlist. I think there's two or three videos. I think 2. Yes, yeah, that's exactly like this is exactly why Chris, sorry, not Christy. Chris says, anyone notice lately these women committing crimes feel entitled to the max? And absolutely, that's why I like true crime. That's why I got engaged with true crime, is because I like seeing these horrendous people facing the consequences of their absolutely horrendous behavior. I have watched her channel a few times. I don't follow her regularly, but yeah, she's actually, yeah. I don't know. I'm beginning to lose faith, Mary. I'm beginning to lose faith. Yeah, right. I find with certain channels, I kind of grow out of channels too, right? I watch one for a while, I watch everything, and then I get bored of it, and I move on to something else. And certain channels, I try if I see a new true crime channel that I haven't watched before, I'll usually give them a try. Yeah, Jolene broke the Jolene, yeah, she broke the whole story. Yeah. She was watching her. She was just watching her channel, like doodly-doo, watching her. She's like, what is this field trip? What is happening here? And she started kind of looking into the whole story and bringing the receipts. Yeah. And apparently, like, she was in the middle of responding to one of the field trip videos. She was in a live and she was doing the field trip video. And in the middle of the video, in the middle of her video, Web Sleuths made that video private. And so it like stopped right in the middle of her live. She wasn't able to finish it. Oh, and Every Day with Jay too has been, yeah. Yeah, so much. Oh my God, Cappy. That is exactly on point. That is exactly on point. Who are we talking about? Suma, she's good. Who are we talking about? Oh, thank you. There we go. Jolene Lunzer. There is her channel if you want to go and read up about the or listen up about the Trisha scandal. She's got like, it's ongoing, right? I literally watched what I thought was the first video. And then there's dozens of them. Like that was the one I watched was from 10 days ago, and she's done a bunch since then. So I'm not sure if the story continues to evolve. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I feel like there's a lot of moving parts, and Jolene seems to have all the. Oh, Jackie St. Germain, thank you. Right. Yes, I like her too. Yeah, I think Hella's been doing some stuff about this. There was, I think I saw a comment from Hella on the video that I watched that said, DM me, I've got something for you or whatever. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, it's evolving, so I need to watch more about it. Yeah. I was gonna maybe look into that a little bit more over the weekend and see if there's like some videos of hers that I wouldn't, to respond to or whatever. Like I don't wanna cut Jolene's grass, but at the same time, it feels like this is the true crime community. It's another situation where you've got a toxic creator, and decent and right-minded people would like to see the end of that, right? You got to be aware of the true crime people that come across for the victims, all sad and asking for support. I can't remember who pointed it out. I think it might have been the docket decoder video the most recent docket decoder video, but he was talking about the thing of like they position themselves as being these victim-centered or whatever. And he's like, if you need to advertise that, like, he's like, to me, that's a red flag. Like, fuck, of course you care about the victims. Like, why else would you even be interested if you didn't care about the victims? And I never thought of it that way, but I think that's actually pretty astute. Yeah. Oh, what are we thinking about the poll? Let me look at the poll. Oh, it's a split. Justice, 43% say yes, 14% say no, and 43% say meh. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect justice, not by any means, but I do feel that I think that the judge was fair. I think the ruling was kind of what it had to be. You know what I mean? I don't think she had really any other options in terms of how the law works, right? If he had put in his application for a modification earlier, he wouldn't know or anything. But I am willing to venture that Brian is probably just relieved that it's over, that the $4,000 that he already has set aside is going to cover everything that he owes. The one question I had about the whole thing was because she said all those dates for him to make payments, but it said on or before this date. And I was wondering if that meant that he could pay the whole thing in a lump sum at one time if he wanted to. Because I think that I would be inclined to do that, just so that I didn't have to feel irritated 6 or 7 times or whatever, or rather just pay it all and be done with it and wash my hands of that whole side of it. But I don't know. I think it was all right. I'm not. Hi, ASB. Nice to see you. It is for Sarah. It's like, yeah, she's not going to be happy. She's not going to get her. That's what I was trying to put up. She's not going to get her, all her zuzus and wham whams that she wants. She's not, and to be told that your expenses are $145 a month, she's going to be insulted by that. She's going to be completely outraged by the fact that all of her, never say die, I'm a hero, I will never give up, ended up costing her 16 grand. That's going to be a problem for her. She's not going to like that. And she's not going to like the limited access that she has to her boy. A half an hour a week is not going to do it for her, right? She wants to be able to harangue that child. Chris says, I was hoping for Brian not to pay a cent. Yeah. I don't think so. No, I don't think she can argue it. I am certainly no expert in the matter, but I don't think so. I think that's just, it is what it is. The ruling, everybody put in their bits and the judgment. Okay, this is the thing. I mean, I guess she could make motions and whatever, but I don't know what basis she might have. Gem in the Mud says, reminds me of Katie Cool Lady. Great example of a narcissist, her and her creepy husband. Katie Cool Lady, she's a YouTuber, right? I've seen comments from her over on Web Sleuths or one of those places. That's what, I mean, if I was him, that's what I would do if he's allowed to. I mean, it says on or before, and it doesn't stipulate, as far as I can see, any other, like before is now, right? He could pay all of it. Take the 4,000 out, pay the whole works. Hi, Grizzly Bear Kelly. Oh, she is gonna be looking for a pen and paper to shoot Judge Jackson a tersely toned letter of disagreement with all of it. I mean, yeah, right? I don't know. She is just gonna be, God, it's been months and months and months now since she broke up with the Third Rail guys. Lana passed away. Christina, who she was in jail with, seems like Christina she gets it in her trust account, Em. I'm not sure if that's commissary or if that's a separate account that she can take from and put it on commissary. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's basically her money. I just feel like, yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, at least he had that money already set aside. It's not going to be a big kick in the face, and he's free of her, and so is the kid, essentially, right? We're looking at 2 years, right? That's what I said when I saw Katie Cool Lady, and when her comment came up, I actually commented on it, and I said, well, I'm a fan of JJ Cale, but I don't think I'm a big fan of Katie Cool Lady over here. Yeah, there's a monthly limit, right? Oh, okay. So it'll go into the trust account, Suma, and then she can take a monthly limit from the trust account. I think that they probably can. I mean, she's in jail for life, right? I hope that the boy is not going to feel obligated all of his life to give up significant amounts of his time and energy to her. But, her channel was destroyed over is that Katie Cool Lady you're talking about? Her channel was destroyed over the Adelson trial? Man, there's so much I don't know. Lana had, she was on dialysis, and she was on a list for a kidney transplant, and she did not make it. Lana was Sarah's friend, so for whatever reason, Lana was a YouTube true crime fan like us, and for whatever reason, I guess she believed Sarah's sob story, and she reached out to her, and they had a friendship of many months duration, a couple of years maybe. I don't know all the details. Again, Tanika's 2 cents for all your Sarah Boone needs. But at a certain point, Lana became aware that Sarah was a murderer. But she did a lot of legwork for Sarah, trying to help her, through the whole pro se business. And she's the one, she spoke for her at her trial. She spoke on Zoom at her trial. She spoke up for her and said that Sarah was this lovely, generous person because Sarah had offered to donate a kidney to her, which of course would never happen. But yeah, I agree. The money will disappear fast. So Katie Cool Lady is the Katie Cool Lady that I'm aware of, Susan, is I've just seen her commenting on, I'm pretty sure it was Web Sleuth's video. It was either Web Sleuth's or Duty Ron, when they were sucking up to hidden true crime and supporting them unconditionally without looking into anything that had happened. I saw her comments coming up on those videos. That is literally everything I know about her. But other people seem to know quite a bit more. Yeah. Yeah, and Lana's kidney eventually, yes. And she passed. And Sarah is extremely ungrateful. She didn't testify during the trial proper. She spoke at the sentencing hearing. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's testifying. I sort of hope that he just, yeah. I mean, I was smart enough at 15 to turn my back on my narcissist mother. 15 is old enough to see what's going on around you. And this boy has had a lot to look at. So I can imagine it's, it's often push-pull with these people, right? It takes more than once to end the relationship because normal people have empathy and want to give people a chance and want things to change and hope that things can, all the stuff. And it can take time to get to the point of understanding that this person is never, ever going to change. And let's face it, he is still a boy, right? So I'm sure Tanika will, to talk about this. Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, I'm a Tanika fan. I'm a Tanika stan. I have been following her Sarah Boone coverage religiously. I don't think there's anything I've missed. She does a great job, and she is just a dynamo of a human being. So yes, you can absolutely. I am not for everybody's whatever. Feel free to stan anybody you want over here. I am very happy to shout out to other true crime creators. Again, Dan D True Crime is where I first saw this this today. And I said I would give him a shout out over here because he does a good read through, and he just reads right through it with not very much in the way of editorializing. I think that Brian is a decent guy. And I think that he will do his best the way he has done through all of this, right? He has shown his willingness to go above and beyond. And that's a real contrast to Sarah, right? And I don't think that any of that is going to be lost on the boy. Yeah, Suma, when are you going to do something? I was, there's another Sarah Boone call out. Do you guys want to watch the other Sarah Boone call? I like Tanika too. She does a great job. Recovery Addict did a lot of reads of Sarah letters. Oh, yeah. Who was I listening? Oh, I was listening to Suma reading Sarah's letters. My God, you were cracking me up, Suma. I can't believe I was thinking, who was I watching? It was totally Suma. Suma was reading out a letter, her last two videos, a couple that I saw anyway. They were very, very understated and very funny. I thought she did a great job. So, okay, let's check out the call. Okay, well, let me see if I got to go over here and find it. So talk amongst yourselves while I find it. Oh, well, that was extremely easy. I found it. Yeah.
Emails and journal entries of Sarah Boone. Convicted of murdering her fiancé by zipping him up in a suitcase and leaving him to die. The Boondoggle tapes may be disturbing to some listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. Today's episode takes place on June 9th, 2025, with Sarah addressing concerns with another YouTuber and
I just wanted to say congratulations on your beautiful 1-year-old granddaughter, ASB. I absolutely love babies. So, hooray. Oh, the Lazy Gamer and Hear Me Out did it. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Hear Me Out's all over it. Yeah. I love me a good baby. I absolutely do. So sorry. Just wanted
and harassing messages she is receiving on her tablet. Let's dive in.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right. How are you doing?
Are you okay? You sound down and out.
Yeah, just got a lot going on. How are you?
I'm right there with you.
What's going on?
I too am miserable.
Have you been getting my messages?
I've lost the last 4 days. I haven't excuse my language. I haven't been on the computer at all. I haven't been doing really much of anything. Just trying to deal with some stuff. I did see the message about. Oh no, I didn't hear from you. I heard back actually from your classifications officer, and he had written me back and said that they suspended you on canteen for 30 days, which didn't seem like it was that terrible. And then they said that they're going to be reviewing whether or not you're going to stay in the program.
Well, before I left, before the hearing concluded.
So just so to orient people here, they're talking about Sarah got caught with taking the tablet back to her bunk, and she wasn't supposed to. And then she lied about it and said that she had been given permission. And then the person that she lied and said gave her permission said, I never gave her permission. So then she got, she's being reprimanded or whatever. And they are deciding whether or not she gets to stay at Lowell and go into this program that she has been working really hard towards being in, or whether she gets moved somewhere else and doesn't get to join the program. So that's where we are in Sarah world.
Both the captain and the human resources lady, or whoever she is, both said that I was.
I 100% agree with that. Sorry, I keep interrupting. Sorry. I 100% agree with you, Suma. The body cam, and it's the same stuff every time, and it's lame. It's so lame. I hate it. I don't know what else to do. Maybe I could make myself bigger and not smaller.
That you're not going to be removed?
Correct. And I had them repeat it 3 times.
Oh, great.
Well, we'll see, because you see all the other misunderstandings that we've had up to this point too. So
there's a guy who was a classifications officer. I want to say his name was Michael. I'm having issues with my internet, but I'll look it up and email it to you.
So you've been approved as a visitor.
Cool. Okay.
So I don't know what's next, but you and Julian are officially approved. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm just however, just you'll be my first visitor, because just a lot. So
have you been working on the?
No. Every time that I have tried to do it, they call me down to do this. They call me out to do this. So I haven't, and I want you to know, I'm mind fucked. Excuse me, by all of this. And I've been talking to. Said that Tamika is blasting the internet about coming down to my family law case and heckling and causing trouble and, all of these other things. So, contacted Isis Lee, the judicial assistant of the judge, and as far as she knew, she said that it is open to the public. But she said that if I'm concerned, I need to write a motion. And she has blown up the internet with it, trying to get everyone that hates me to come show up from around the globe, not just here in Florida, but everywhere. And it involves a minor child. said that she can't believe that they would allow that involving a minor child. And family law case, my case is supposed to be sealed first and foremost, but it's not. And
Yeah, I get notifications of thing, and look, I don't watch all of them, but I feel like I have a good sense. I haven't seen anything like that.
she just read it to me this morning.
Wow. Okay. It must be recent.
So this is very, very concerning to me, and I need to write a motion for that. I also need to write a motion to be unshackled during my trial because I can't hand anything, I can't write anything, I can't turn a page, I can't do anything. So I have to write that also, on top of my pretrial statement, on top of my parenting plan.
I would start with that. I would start with those two. I would write one really simple motion that just says you're requesting to be able to be.
I have to present case law. I have to present everything that is justifiable through the eyes of the law in order for that to be happening.
All right. Well, if you kind of write it out, I'll do a little bit of research on case law and send it back to you.
It's nice listening to this now in light of the ruling that came out. It's less enraging knowing that all of this nonsense that she's up to here is going to screw her out of 16 grand. I absolutely love it.
Fine. I'm trying to do everything that I possibly can. I'm trying to figure out about this USB and viewing my files and everything that I had that I could have used during my criminal case. I have no way of viewing those.
You got the USB?
Yes. That was one of my messages. That's why I'm just like, what? Like, I feel like you guys have fallen off the face of the earth.
Oh, I kind of have, like the last 4 days. Yeah, I have, definitely.
Yeah, so I have, I think, 2.5 weeks to submit a pretrial statement, parenting plan, and I need to get this unshackled and closed courtroom.
I just have been standing by waiting for that pretrial thing from you. Just the you don't have to write the whole, just the outline, Sarah. Just like the main, just bullet points. Like you can save draft, even if you just do a little bit every day for like the next 3-4 days. You know, you'll knock it out and just hit the bullet points, and it doesn't have to be articulated the exact way you want to say it. We'll get there. But if you just write down like all the main kind of thoughts of what
you're saying, okay. So if I do the bullet points, then you're saying that you'll help me build it?
Yeah, so if you just give me like I told you this. So if you just give me like, write almost like an outline, section 1.
Okay, that's fine.
Hang on, what is happening here? What is this? Grizzly Bear Kelly, hey girl, saw your comment in Trisha's chat that got deleted pronto. What comment? I'm getting all excited about this Trisha business. Boss Lady is saying Trisha is really dirty and there's so much still coming out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a weekend of watching some of these videos. Maybe I'll watch some of them with you guys.
I can do that. Just I'm just gonna go off of the uniform pretrial conference order that she did and just go from item to item to item to item.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But also look at Brian's as a reference point.
I have no idea how to do that because they're telling me how to calculate. They're putting me at absolute minimum wage, which they can't predict that I'm going to have a minimum wage job. And so they're basing his off of a $60,000 a year job, and they're basing mine off of a $22,000 job a year. So with that and everything else, I have no idea how they're supposed. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, and I don't understand how they can predict that either.
They're predicting what though? They're saying that you make money.
No, this is if I were to be in the real world, which I'm not, which makes no sense.
Right, exactly. So then you don't.
Jem, that's Brian in the blue shirt. That is Brian. She, instead of calling 911, if you recall, she called Brian, who told her to call 911 and then came over to find that she still hadn't called 911. And she wanted him to come in the house, and like I think that she wanted him to help her cover it up, you know. But yeah, that's Brian. That's the Brian who just won. Yay.
I'm
Only
not understanding.
you don't have to do any calculations. So right there, you can just say.
I mean, it asks for that in the uniform order. That's why it's, you know, you're the one who read me that thing, and it's what, 11 pages? So it's a lot to go through and go by with a lot of bullet points. So
You have it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I
Oh.
finally eventually got it. Remember, I got it 17 days later.
Right. You did.
So now I'll do my bullet points, and then you can help me build off of it. And then I don't know where you get your case law and things like that from, but like I got to do this closed courtroom, and I got to do the shackle thing. But, you know, I don't think that is as precedent as the pretrial and the parenting. Because that, I don't have to do anything with that because it's not even until August. So if I get these done, then I can focus on those.
Right, exactly.
Right?
And in a little bit of time, I'll have a little bit more bandwidth and stuff, and just, you know.
Please, I'm begging you, because you don't understand. Like this Tanika, she's not out to do it for help. It's out for hate. And, you know, if
this is the YouTuber. Of course, I should have known. It's Tanika she's talking about.
you know, she's off her rocker. Like, she's off
Well,
her rocker.
I mean, it's her job. I mean, she's getting paid to do this, right? If
Yes.
she wasn't getting.
Oh, that's pretty rich coming from him. Oh my God. We are literally watching the video that he put up to make money out of all of this. After he failed to make money out of all of this by getting Sarah to tell her story so that he could do a documentary about her. Hypocrite much? My God.
Money, she wouldn't even give a shit. I mean, there's a
Correct.
million other people that are in there in prison for similar issues, and
Right.
she's getting paid for it.
Well, she's got has said that she's running out of content. So, you know, the Lana thing is passing, so Lana is officially going to be dead. And then she's running out of the content with the messages that she's reading between me and her and me and so, like, she's running out of content. So the only thing that she's barely hanging on by is my family law case. And I want you to know from what told me, she's like, Sarah, you need to keep an eye out for this. This is very important. She goes, I wouldn't even bother telling you about it, but she said that she's got enough fuel right now where she's trying to burn this up by the time that I'm actually supposed to be there.
What do you mean? She's trying. What is she worried that she's going to do? I mean, she's just reporting, right?
Yes, but for the amount, I want you to know, I'm telling you this, which is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about on the phone was I've been getting extreme hate messages on my tablet where people, you know, because I don't have an opportunity to decline anybody. They just show up on my.
Okay, wait a minute. So she can't decline anybody and she's getting extreme hate messages. I don't remember seeing her getting extreme hate messages on the tablet on Tanika's channel. Does anybody know what she's talking about? At Cappy, I love The Simpsons, and I absolutely love all your references to it. So please, do carry on.
My tablet, and this one lady, where she idolizes Tanika, and because Tanika has been speaking so much hate against me, this woman has been speaking it against me also with death threats and calling me a murderer and just really awful things that she's been saying. So I'll delete her. She puts herself back on there. I'll delete her 6, 7, 8 more times, and she keeps putting herself back on there over and over and over and over and over again. And the things that she's having come out of her mouth they're just, they shouldn't be spoken. So I'm just telling you.
Look, I mean, she can't do anything to you because you are where you are. She can't get to you, right? But still,
I'm not worried about that.
Okay, so, but it is.
Is that what you're saying, Sudma? You're saying that she isn't getting any really nasty death threat messages? That she's lying about it, and that's why we never saw them over on the Tanika's channel? Because that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Still harassment.
Absolutely. Being
So-
stirred up because of her.
We'll have to look into it, but you can certainly, like this woman who delete her and she keeps showing back up. Is she showing up under different names?
Oh, no, she actually wrote me a letter under a different name, and I gave it to because it was about, and looked her up, and it's the same exact woman, just using a different name.
The same
So
exact
after
woman.
you delete, she's not sending you tablet messages. Now she's just sending you,
Oh, no, she is still. No, she's doing both.
if you delete her, how does she get back on?
It just temporarily deletes her. She logs back in, puts herself back on there, and then I send her awful messages. I delete her again. It's not, I can't block her. All I can do is delete her.
You just delete the message, you mean?
I delete the message and I delete her. Puts herself back on there repeatedly. I cannot block her. Blocking her gets her off of my tablet, period. All I can do, the only option I have is to delete.
Well, why not block her off your tablet altogether if she's so horrible? G14 Classified said Jolene has read the whole deposition transcript of Web Sleuths, which is I guess they're suing this woman for over the will. Yes, Drunky is a victim forever. Yeah, we were just saying, right, now that the family court ruling has come down, she's got her appeal to go. But like, what's going to happen, right? Once all the fighting with what's going on in the outside world is over, she's going to have to settle down to life in prison. Poor old Sarah. I don't think she is constitutionally, set up for prison, because the perpetual victimhood is not going to fly with people who are all struggling with the fact that they're in prison, right? Like, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm sure there's something we can do.
There's not. They just tell me to take it on the chin. There's nothing they can do.
Next time she writes you, send her back a note.
I don't know what that's going to do. She takes everything and then she reports it to Tanika. That's the thing. Everything she does, she reports it to Tanika. That's what been telling me.
Yeah. So then what you do is you just write a letter back. I understand that you don't like me very much and you have your opinions on your situation, and I'm asking and I'm asking you to cease and desist. And
I've got nothing to back it up with.
well, you have all the messages, right?
I'm asking you to cease and
No, they've been
desist.
deleted.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that. And there is
No, she doesn't know that.
yeah, so she doesn't know that. So she will think that.
So what is Peter telling Sarah, that people are not allowed to send her messages saying that what they think of her, that they can that they can get the, I mean, I suppose, if she was doing it 100 times a day or whatever, they could maybe, but if she has the ability to block her, then problem solved. So a little bit more manufactured victimhood from Sarah.
That you have.
They're awful.
She'll think that you have them all, and
That's fine. I know, that's fine. But I want you to take, please, into consideration with helping me with this motion to close the courtroom.
we'll work on that a little bit later. I mean, I think you're right.
Yes.
I think that the big thing is you got to get this outline done. And
just like Lauren, right? Well, I want the courtroom closed. I don't want people to see. It's not fair. Sarah getting her daily dose of wine. Well, I can imagine just from that one comment she made when he said something like, I have more than one arrow in my quiver. And she got so excited. She was practically quivering because he knew what the word quiver meant. So yeah, I think we can guess. I think we can guess. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's gonna, yeah, because he didn't say. I'm a little surprised at all that. Surely she knows that life is life.
you know, don't
Yes, please.
try not to get like overwhelmed, you know, and just do.
I am. Peter, you don't understand. I wake up feeling like I want to vomit. I don't sleep. The air's broken in here. Over the weekend, they came through here. It's 103 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, listen, you did ease my pain. Listen, you did ease my pain by telling me all I need to do is go section by section with.
That's the name of the episode, Ease My Pain.
My bullet points, and you'll help me grow on it, right?
Yeah, I told you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very concerned about you too, because you're never like out and lethargic and just defeated sounding. Like you are like power to me, and it's just like I want to make sure that you're okay. Never sound like this.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is, and things will work out, and those things always work out, and you do what you got to do. You know, you help the people that you can help, and you try and throw as much love out in the world as you possibly can, and hope some of it gets back to you. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and that just kind of is what it is.
Well, that's.
Oh my God, these two bullshitters bullshitting each other back and forth about throwing a little love out in the world. Oh my God, spare me.
What I'm trying to do is throw my love towards you because I know that you're going through something and I'm concerned. I mean, I say this from prison, but what can I do to help you?
Nothing, Sarah. There's nothing anybody can do.
I worry about you, especially like when you're not on point and just, like back and forth like we usually are. I really knew something was wrong because you haven't been. Well, you made it a lot easier and more simplified just by telling me do the bullet points and we'll work on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't understand that. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, you know what makes my heart skip a beat is the fact that I finally get to see you guys in person and I can actually hug you guys.
Yes.
There's no rush either, okay? So.
Oh my God, I just feel so warm inside when I think about Sarah finally meeting Peter in person and being able to give him a hug. I mean, it's like a Hallmark moment. I wish I could be there.
So do whatever it is you have to do. We've waited this long, okay? Let's, like you said, get past this bullshit with this pretrial crap and everything so we can actually enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, we'll knock it out. Yeah. So, and listen, like I said, I know it's overwhelming, but remember we talked about like how do you eat an elephant, like one bite at a time? That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Try not to get bogged down in the wordsmithing. There will be a time and a place for that. Right now, it's just like brain dump, like just get all the major points.
God, that makes me feel so much better. Thank you. I'm tired of walking around crying all the time. So thank you. That definitely made me feel better. I sent you a message with the telephone numbers for.
What do you think, Grizzly? Do you think that he ever planned to visit her? Or that was all just a part of just, reeling her in to try to get her story or whatever, pretending, because he kept delaying filling out the paperwork, or, oh, I spelled my name wrong, or, oh, I got the date wrong, or whatever. There was just sort of these endless delays. My thought is that he never intended to visit her at all. And that's just what I thought.
Lowell and Tallahassee, and then you can file a grievance online also. If you could just do something, just take 5 minutes, even if you file that grievance online, I to do one. And I can't tell you how unbearable and miserable it is. And my brain boils when I'm trying to actually start focusing and working on something. I can't focus because I'm so lethargic and hot and sweaty. And it's very miserable in here. And it's all about a $30 breaker. The breaker keeps popping because we have two brand new units, but the breaker is not compatible for the size of the units. So one of the inmates has to go up into the 180-degree attic and pop the breaker, but then because it gets so hot and it keeps popping over and over and over again, they leave it off for 5 or 6 hours. So we don't actually get the air to start coming on until about 8 or 9 p.m. And then it takes probably about 4 or 5 hours for it to even get somewhat room temperature in here. And the next thing you know, they turn the lights on at 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's a vicious cycle, and it's causing people fighting here. People have been coming real close to being removed from the dorm. Last night they fought over the remote, and it's because of how hot it is in here. And this is not what the incentivized program is about. It's mind-blowing to me. And then Peter too, please don't forget to find out the name of that guy, because they told me 3 times that they were not going to remove me. But do you see, on top of everything else, then I have to worry about that. It just can't end.
But I'm so glad you got the USB. That is so great. And can you look at that in the law library?
Okay, so now I I sent an email, or I sent an inmate request form to Miss Santiago. She finally got it. She wrote me back. So now I had to write another inmate request form to classifications. Then I had to write another inmate request form to the assistant warden, requesting me to be able to use them. And I haven't heard back from either one of them about that. So, but do you see though, this is what the problem is that I request instructions, they write me back about the instructions, and then I have to do what the instructions say. So now I'm sitting here waiting, and it's, weeks when I could have been, already in it, doing it, and whatever else it is. Like, I had no idea it was going to be this involved.
It's not like the real world, right? Where inefficiency is smacked down by a competitor coming up and doing it better.
Right.
And these guys are dealing with thousands of...
Yes. When I could just walk down there, plug it in, and start using it. It's just, that's another thing too. Like, I just can add more ammunition to this pretrial statement, but I can't because I'm still waiting to even go down there to view the files.
But I mean, I'm sure there's reasons, right? Like, not that you're any kind of a threat or anything like that, but I'm sure that in the past, people have found ways to exploit that.
I have to do it in the classifications department, so I'll be down there with them.
Okay.
But I will keep you posted on that. But I did receive it, so I'm just waiting for me to be able to actually access them. So
okay. Well,
I have things that are in the works. I just can't work it yet, so I'm trying.
I believe that we could just read the transcript of the video because YouTube does automatically generate transcripts. So we could read out the transcript and then we wouldn't have to hear her voice. There are options. Just saying.
Which requests have you filed and which do you need to do? Or you have
all of them?
All of them. Okay.
Yeah, so now I'm just waiting back for a response so I know when and how I can go do it.
Yeah. And the only one that can tell you that is Miss Santiago. Okay.
Yep. So I'm just sitting here waiting.
Yeah, she's probably a million requests. She's probably like a huge pile of stuff she's got to get through too. So, all right. Well, we'll just kind of sit and wait on that. But
I'll keep you posted. You and me both know what I'm working on, what I need to work on, and what I'm going to get done. I'm hoping that I can get it done this week. Just today I had call-outs, and I just got back. The air, of course, is broken, and I want to, I just said, you know what, I'm just going to try him. I hope he answers, and you answered. So Thank you for doing that. Just so I know that you're okay, because I keep sending you messages, and you're not writing back.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Thank you, Sarita. That's very generous. I appreciate that very much. Suffocating enough to feel like in a suitcase? Probably not, right? I mean, George wasn't free to go check out the thermostat to see just how hot it actually was. Now, was he? Oh my God, you're giving me nightmares just thinking about it, Em. Em says, my worst nightmare would be to do mushrooms and listen to Sarah. Yeah, you would just have an immediate panic attack. Hi, Samantha Lake. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. He's really dismissive of her a lot of the time, but I'm not sure that she picks up on it necessarily. You can hear in his voice that he's exhausted and fed up, but she doesn't really pick that up, right? Oh, boss lady, that's very kind of you. You didn't have to do that, but I very much appreciate all your support. You guys are the best. Mariana, what does Mariana say? You don't hop when I tell you. I have to have you jump when I say, okay, is it really that important? I'm sorry, I'm lost. I don't know what that means. I'm just going to press play again.
For whatever it is that you are going through, I'm sorry. And I wish that I could do something more than just say I'm sorry on the phone while I'm in prison. I genuinely mean that, okay?
I do. I know you do, Sarah. I'm looking at
whatever it is. It's big.
I'm like looking at my dog right now. I gotta put this dog on a diet. He is like, he's a big dog.
Fat and happy.
As far as I know, they reached out to her. Peter and Julian were gonna try to do a documentary of her life, and they told her that they believed her battered wife syndrome story and they wanted to help her get her story out there and have her voice heard. I believe they reached out to her in jail. I don't know how else it could have happened, honestly. Jesse B says, thanks for the membership. Yeah, thanks, boss lady. That was
very fat, very happy, very fat. He's like part Mastiff. He's actually
Oh my gosh, he's a
like
beast.
he's like Mastiff and Blackmouth Care. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, that's what Lucas's dog is. That's what Brian's dog is.
Yeah, and like the funniest, sweetest, like a big gentle giant. He's just so funny. Like he jumps. Like I don't let him sleep in my bed.
So did Lana? Suma says I think Lana found them, or at least vetted them. I do remember stuff about that. And Grizzly says I think Lana had something to do with it. I think you're right, but how did they even find Lana? You know what I mean? My guess is that this is just a total guess, is that they reached out to Sarah, and then Sarah said to Lana, hey, these people reached out to me, can you look into them? That's what I think, but I'm surmising, so just saying.
That anymore, because he just like winds up kicking me off of the bed every night. And then,
yes, he's so big.
Yeah, and now
You have 1 minute remaining.
he like jumps up on my bed at like every night now, like 3 a.m. when he knows I'm sleeping.
Aww.
Kind of like gets in there, and like then I wake up and I'm like hanging off of the bed, and he's like pushing me off. I'm like, what the fuck?
You'll miss him. You'll miss him when he's not there. So
Yeah,
enjoy it while you can.
I know it.
And look, I'm going to keep you posted between now and then. And if I try and call you and you can answer, great. If not, just know that I'm trying and just so grateful for you. And I hope you know that, okay?
I do.
Okay, well, one way or another, I'll talk to you in a little while.
Same back to you.
Keep smiling. Thank you.
Keep smiling. Keep smiling. Thank you. God. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, she makes me tired, does old Sarah. Holy smokes. Anyway, I'm finding that, like, genuinely, I am finding that I am bored with Sarah lately. I was not bored at all with the family court ruling, because that's putting Sarah in her place where she belongs. But I find that I'm finding it harder to actually listen to the content of these prison phone calls, because I just don't care. Right? It's just all such nonsense. Yeah, well, I think that I don't know, right? It's hard to know. I think that it's hard to know exactly what goes on in her brain, but obviously the story that she gave them in her diary or whatever is bullshit, right? It's her version of the George abused me relentlessly and I'm the battered wife person. So I was gonna say, I don't know if she always knew she was never going to tell them the truth. But the fact is, I think that she thinks that her version of this thing is the truth. I don't think that she's lying. I think she has spun it in her head so that she is actually the victim, right? That's what I think. We could dig into the Trisha foolery. Yeah, I don't have enough energy to dig into Trisha right now. I'm going to do that over the weekend, I think. I really hate that they posted the journal too, Suma. I will not put that stuff on my channel. I will not have anything to do with it. I think it's absolutely awful. Sarah, I think it's an AI voice reading them out, I guess, right? Reading out her version of the story. Is horrifying, and I have very little respect for these guys. I have no compunction whatsoever about using their content, because I think that they basically deserve to be kind of exposed for the scammer shysters that they are. Sarah fucked up the family court lawyer. Yeah, she screws everything up. That was the last call, I think. Was it? Or was it the one before, maybe, that we watched, where she had been so objectionable that the family lawyer that went and met up with her said, yeah, thanks, but no, and walked away. And then they tried to convince her that she needed to rein in, some of her nastiness. She would, she gave her whole never say die nonsense. wherein she believes that she's some kind of a hero who refuses to give in to the evildoers. Mary's got to go make a banana pie. Okay, a banana. Got to make like a banana and split. Okay, I thought for some reason you were going to go make a banana pie. And now I want a banana split. All the penny loafers and dreadheads. Well, bye, Mary. Glad you could make it. I'm going to go soon to the little dog. I did not give him any food this morning because he had me up all night asking to go out every hour. So he's particularly hungry tonight, and he's almost always hungry. So I am going to love you and leave you. And I will probably do another live tomorrow at 4. And I will I want to do something about Trisha. I want to watch some of the Trisha field trip video where she takes her viewers over to Brenda B's house because she's so concerned that her lifelong friend is going to rip her off. So yes. Yeah, right. I know. Now I'm like, now I need ice cream. So you have the ingredients. See, I don't even have any ice cream. Yeah, so thanks everybody. Thanks, boss lady. Always a pleasure. You're always such a great support. And I really appreciate you buying memberships. I think that's awesome. And my dog keeps eating the cat food and has to go out 5 times. Yeah, he got into something. I'm not sure. Yeah, me too, Em. It's terrible. The diabetes just means that he's hungry every minute of his life. And so when he gets into something, it's because he just feels hungry all the time, the poor little soul. So anyway, I'm going to say goodnight. So thanks again, everybody, and I will see you next time. Good night.